It's called the revolution. The revolution will not be televised. It will be soliloquized and harmonized. The revolution will not be televised. It will not be bought, cornered, sold, or monopolized. The revolution might just be bite-sized morsels of morals for men at the end of their wits, women who long ago ran out of patience for fuckboy theology, practice, and habit, and babies that have been mistaken for martyrs of the revolution and killed by cops accordingly. The revolution will not be institutionalized, it must be internalized. The revolution will not be political. We are black, we sing soul. The revolution, of course, will be the last great Negro spiritual. The revolution will not be sold in a pill, but it can be injected, if you will. Our voices are an apparatus for the disappearance of the docile and the deliverance of the demonized. P.S. Anti-vaxxers can kiss my ass. The revolution will be individuals in mass. Let me repeat. The revolution will be singular and in sync. Let me clarify. The revolution is not Jonestown with better Kool-Aid. No way, Jose, Hosanna, help us. The revolution is in us. It has been us. It will kill us if we put it off another day. If we depend on another, they will simply kill us in another way. So the revolution will not be today. There will be no empty hours. We've been fucked for 200 years, so I really suspect there is no further need for foreplay. The revolution will persist despite casualties and agent provocateurs. The revolution will beat the wings off old Jim Crow. The revolution has room for thugs, dealers of drugs, illegitimate citizens, perpetual welfare recipients, and whatever else they call it niggers these days. The revolution will be 100% whole chocolate milk. The revolution will not be gluten-free or fit for vegans to eat, because the revolution will address the so-called beef in the beak of the great American eagle. Beef because they labeled us chattel, beef because they herded us like cattle, packed tight, bleeding beef, shipped on the good ship Jesus. The revolution will have an option that is kosher. The revolution began with Coon Fire Coon. The revolution will not tolerate the doom and gloom of a slave mentality. The revolution has no need for white guilt or reparations. The revolution will not consist of blacks belittled like children. The revolution will consist of high standards. The benchmark of our success has not been set yet, so the revolution will not be held back, idle, delayed, dissuaded, disabled, or destroyed. The revolution will leave supremacists dissatisfied. The revolution will impeach every pastor with a $64 million jet. The revolution will put Huey Newton on the next 35 issues of Jet. The revolution will involve 8 hard inches of hot, black, bold, throbbing, ready, willing, and able, capable hopes, dreams, and schemes. The revolution will find out once and for all the answers to the question that has plagued us all since fall. Miley, what's good? The revolution will hold a grand jury trial for Raven Simone so she can refuse Atticus Finch because his name sounds wrong. The revolution will be as hard as Dolomite. The revolution will be dynamite. The revolution will have an open bar with shots of ripple. The revolution will free more than the nipple. It will free dicks, cunts, pussies, pricks, and everything in between. The revolution will simply march into Mordor. The revolution will be fueled by NWA and Black Star, Kendrick Lamar, Killer Mike, Tupac and Marvin Gaye. Bob Marley and Jimi Hendrix will be hosting a spirituality and blood-rolling seminar. The revolution will be canonized by the conduct of men more than kings, men of higher means than power and similar forces. The revolution will sing King's Dream with Malcolm's mission and Huey's heart and Davis's vision. The revolution was consecrated by Haile Selassie and Marcus Garvey. The revolution won't throw salt. The revolution will catch a body. The revolution will catch a charge like a conductor or conduit and leave nitwits missing ligaments and Neanderthals neutralized. The revolution will act without moving, heal without soothing. The revolution is a healing fire and a wrathful flood. The revolution was born with blood blacker than Nigerian oil. The revolution turned pigment into poetry, and every member is a meter. The bars are full and running over the overture loud as Oakland riots and police sirens when Oscar Grant was crying at the pavement and platelets. The revolution was paid in full. Homegrown like Galilean saviors or tribal African slave traders, the revolution will mobilize exclusively by old school Cadillacs and African elephants with gold Tuscan grills. The revolution will address blacks who slay more blacks than the war in Iraq ever has or will. That is the revolution thus far. Yeah!